Welcome to your daily dose of truth to hear. Today, you are joining me with Maria Pureza. I don't know if I say that right. Correct me if I did.
Perfect. Perfect.
Today's show is Truth Talk, a Conversation. And I'm here with the founder of an amazing ability, a platform called Social Media Shows. And let me just tell you, Maria, it's so amazing to be able to get to know you over the last course of probably what, 6 months, maybe by now, since I personally joined Social Media Shows Network and got to know Maria. Um, what she's done is brought branding, opportunity, and outreach all together under one platform. And she allows people just like you who are listening to have a way to get your skill set, your ministry, your outreach program, or just your voice to be heard on platforms all across social media all at one time. But that's just like a small piece, Maria. So introduce yourself and fill us in.
Yes, my name is Maria Pureza, and you said that correctly. Thank you so much for being on your show, Melanie. I've been a huge fan of you with all the shows that you do. It's just totally amazing. Well, social media shows has been. I created social media shows in 2017 and went published since 2018 after after 6 months of researching, studying of how you do things in the camera, streaming online. And it's not an easy time when I was trying to build this together. So it took me 6 months to study all different things. And believe it or not, when you're not putting your hands on camera yet, or you're not doing it yet, it's different when you start doing it. So you will find all the errors where you can fix things and everything like that. So social media shows is just, it's just an empowering, entertaining, and educational platform to reach out to everybody around the world. And we all know already that social media is so negative. Like everything you see in there is very negative. It's just kind of like their people's punch. What do you call that? Punch bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I realized is I'm not a big fan of social media before. And then when I created social media shows, I'm like, I'm gonna change the fact that this is negative to into positive. So now we have over 20 shows that's running every week, including your shows. I'm just so like loving what we are all doing in social media shows.
Maria, like you said, 2 years ago, you just celebrated your second year anniversary of being out there and being a vessel for people like me to get our voice heard. But I was like you. I didn't want my stuff on social media. I didn't want to be linked with social media because it is negative. People go on there and it causes depression, it causes anxiety. But the shows you decide to put on, the things you do with your talent, it's encouraging. It is positive. And I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to show just a little a graphic about what you actually do at social media shows. So here's just a little bit about them. So, they do, starting at the top, media distribution, social media management. They do it globally reaching people, digital advertising and marketing. There's so much that you do. And then here's a couple of the shows we'll talk about a little bit of them today. But you do all of this with a very small team. And like you said, you had to learn this. So it's not just a job for you or a company. You had to dig deep and learn every aspect of media and production, and then also customer service and getting along and talking with talent and the business side of things. How did you take that on, you alone, and then bring people to partner with and to help you get through it? But you taught yourself most of this stuff, yes?
Yes, yes. Well, you know what? It's not like what I said earlier. It's not an easy thing to do. And part, if you think about it, building a business is, especially when you're only a one woman show, you actually deal with everything, deal with production, deal with camera, deal with administration, deal with uh, talents, and then dealing with dealing with talents. They have different personality, and that's most of the hard part, is because every single person have different personality. And sometimes I'm the kind of person that I know how to read personality, and I know how to modify my personality to another personality. And but the other people, they are not equipped with, or they are not trained for that. You ask me how I can handle all these things at once. I think this comes with my 5 year schooling as a business management, is a degree holder, bachelor's degree holder, and accounting. Well, I'm accounting is not that much, but I work in large companies here in the US that I was an executive. So I put the experience, the schooling, and also I think the personality that I already have together, to put it together to understand and deal with people and deal with this type of business. So it's not an easy path. It's not an easy work. Like, like you cannot just say I can do that without experience. There is no such thing. If I can pick one person, maybe the most intelligent person, and put that person in my position, I'm telling you, tomorrow he or she is gone.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it takes the ups and downs, and you get hit hard. And
Mhm.
early on when you're doing this, and you sign people on to say, "Hey, I can represent your show, or I can get your show out there," and there's glitches, they can look at you like, "Oh, you're just a female. You don't know what you're doing." But you didn't let anything stop you. And I think for especially now with the COVID environment of people working at home, losing their
Mhm.
jobs, you are an inspiration to women, all across the country and even outside of this country, that says you have something inside of you, a passion, go for it. Take the risk, work hard, stay up late, do the research, because one day it will pay off. And I think looking at you, Maria, you are an inspiration and someone to be looked up to say, you know what, don't just settle for working for other people. Use that time of your life as a stepping stool so that you can get yours and do good for other people. And I just applaud you on that.
Oh, thank you, thank you. You know what? That's. I think that is why. That's the reason why I'm still going and keep going. Is because I already explained to you before, my mission statement when I built this company is I'm gonna build a brand, and I'm talking to myself when I created the statement. I am gonna build a brand so that I can open opportunity to people unfortunate, and other. That's when you told me, or you said earlier, branding, opportunity, and outreach. So when I created the mission statement, I am not even thinking of anything else but talking to myself. Oh, I wanna do this. I wanna build this, and then I'm gonna create jobs for people, and then I will also help our nonprofit organization. So it's just like it's from my heart, and with God's help, I am actually keep on going. And I don't, when I said I keep on going, I don't get distracted with anything negative, positive, and anything that comes to me is just like, I am that kind of person where I just said okay, and then I move on. If they cannot move on, it's their problem, not mine. But I will move on no matter what is, what other people say or think about me. It doesn't matter, because I know that God is actually walking with me side by side of what I am doing.
And Maria, over the course of this last 6 months or so, we've had personal conversations about our own struggles personally and business wise. And I love the fact that at every time you always give it back to God. You always give him the credit and the glory for what he's doing through and in you. And I don't think a company like this can be successful on this kind of a platform, social media in general, without God being the forerunner of this, because you would got shut down a long time ago. But I also believe that he's given you some amazing people, amazing shows, amazing content to put out there that's actually going to help America and just people in general. So your co-founder is Joseph Skoda. I hope to have him on soon someday. Um, and what he's involved in a lot is giving back to the military. So I want to talk about your outreach a little bit, because you do allow and want to give back to the community. So I want to show just a couple of things that you are involved in for outreach.
Mm-hmm.
um, GI Connections, that is helping veterans. So if you know someone who needs help with veteran resources, this is a great place to donate, to be involved with. It does help injured heroes on Capitol Hill, educating the public about sacrifices and needs of veterans that are transitioning back to civilian life. And I think that's beautiful to be able to have that connection. But you also do others. Let me show this other screenshot real quick. And that is the Giving Water, helping to arrange for water that the public needs to purchase their water from their favorite charity, and that enables you to give back without sacrifice or burdens. You have the Family Arts, that's the foster, adopt, mentor, investing in lives of the youth, and that is so important that we get educated on mentoring foster families and foster children and investing in their lives. And then also the DAV, which is fulfilling our promises to the men and women that we serve. Again, helping fight for those who are injured in the line of duty across the battleground, and come home and need help getting their civilian life in order, because it is so difficult. So, Maria, I just want to say, these things are so important to the American public, to help veterans, to help foster children, to help get clean water, and charities to be able to be funded. Um, do you see a lot of success stories through these platforms?
Yes, I just want to actually add with the nonprofit organization that you just shown. We haven't updated the page yet, but we have more of nonprofit organization that is adding in there. One is the Alliance Against Diabetes.
Oh wow! And you also have mine, Unbound. Truth to Hear is a nonprofit as well, and we
Oh,
need to get
is it in there?
Unbound.
Not
It's
yet.
not in there.
So yeah, so
That's on me.
I
I,
know, right?
I haven't sent you the information yet.
But we have a lot more. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's really important when you're starting a business or when you have a business for giving back to the community. Although everything that we do here at social media shows is more of giving to the community because we educate, we inspires others, but still I think when you're supporting nonprofit organization who's helping the community is also, it's really good to connect with them because you guys have the same goal. We have all common goal to help other people. So I am welcoming every nonprofit organization around the world to be on this page because I want this like probably 5 to 10 pages of nonprofit organization because we have to support one another, especially these companies, nonprofit organization that's helping others because their main point of view is just to see to look on those people that needed help. They're not into just making the money, but they are more of like giving out help and financial services and everything. So yeah, I think it's a really huge platform that has to be out there.
Yeah, and we had a meeting. We had a company meeting Monday night, and I got to meet as we all introduced the new people coming onto your platform. And I have to tell you, the things that they're going to be bringing to the table. You have shows like from Brian Gardner, Plan for America and the World, introducing his book. We have the power, making sure that our civil liberties are ours to keep, and that we're aware of what we have in the Constitution of America. You have things from Dr. Denise Kelly and Janet Rosie that are doing genetic DNA stuff and medical treatments that are unheard of, and they're going to be bringing that show and bringing that ability to the public. You have just everything that you can think of. You have mentors, business mentors, is going to be doing shows to help people get their businesses in line and up and running and going. And then, what I also love is you have fun stuff. You know, you
Yes.
have you have fun stuff like your show, Two Hot Chicks.
Yeah,
Um,
really funny because you were just mentioning that, oh, with all this show, we have serious show, we have comedy skits,
yes,
we have like silly things, but it's all about entertaining our viewers. So yeah, we have like a combination of it all, and that makes me keep going too, because if you think the combination of all shows, they are not in line together, but they actually goes together if you think about it.
it does. And I realized that Monday is like, wow, everybody has, like you said, we all have the same mindset. We have something to give, some wisdom, knowledge, a product, a character in entertaining comedy, getting to know LA. I mean, I'm not LA, Las Vegas. I know you have a show with Bree that talks about all the fun things you can do in Las Vegas. Now, I want once we open up all the doors and businesses are open, I'm going to go through that list and I'm going to start doing almost all of them because it's so much fun to see and hear the things that you can do. And they bring it together with such vibrancy and excitement. And so, this is like a TV network. It's not just a platform for content creators. It's a whole network. And it depends on what channel you want to watch. You want to watch Bible studies? You got that. You want to watch stuff about news? You have that. You want to watch silly stuff? You have that. You want to watch girl talk? You have that. Like you have every single channel that people want. And how do you offer that to the public? And you don't have a streaming, you know, expense like you do like Spectrum TV. To get those networks, you have to pay for it, but you just offer it freely.
So what's your question again? Tell me. I'm
Well, the question is, how do you do that? How do you just offer a whole network of
it,
TV shows, programs?
it is like what I was saying earlier. It is a passion. It is, this is the thing is, um, I listen to God what He wants me to do. You see, I don't run this. It's just like God is constantly talking to me every morning, every day, and said, "Hey Maria, you should have this. Hey Maria, you should have that. Hey Maria," and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right." Yeah, it's just in the beginning of social media shows, Melanie, we have Lance Parvin. Lance Parvin is um, closely it's he's advocate advocate of good things. He's not a pastor, he's not a minister, but he just talk about everything that is right for humanity. It's like if you're talking to him, he is so unbiased when you're talking to him about your problem, your issue, about situation or person. He just go in the middle, and he's never ever tell you that you're right or wrong and the other person is right or wrong. He's just giving you another what do you call that now, like
Point of view.
huh? Yeah. He just says something about the Bible, and then you work for that thinking. What do you think is right?
Oh, that's
That's
good.
I know, right? It's just
Yeah.
like sometimes as a human, you say, "Are you with me or not?" Like, you know what I mean? But no, that's how. That's why I adore this guy from the beginning, and he is. I didn't stop him when he left because he is going around the world trying to teach people to be as human as this, God as human.
Wow.
So, anyways, in the beginning, when I was telling him about my passion, about my vision of this company, he asked me one question. And the question he asked is, Maria, if there will be a point in time that somebody will come to you and say, here's $1 million, you do how I want your company goes, and here's a $1 million, what you gonna do? That's what Lance asked me. And then, at that time, I don't have an answer at that time. So I kind of thought about it, and I I told him that I will cross the bridge when I get there.
Yeah.
But that is like 2 years ago, Melanie. Now I kind of realize what he meant by
Mhm.
that. Like, I know that what he meant is you should listen to God and not you telling God what to do.
Right. And
Yeah.
and the one thing I love is how God works. If he gives someone like you or me or the listeners a vision, something in them to do, he will supply not only the wisdom and knowledge, but he'll supply the provision. He'll supply the computers, the cameras, the technology. He'll give the help and send people that don't mind working for pennies or even just donating their time. It will happen if you're not money focused. And I think that that's another takeaway from his question is, are you money focused? Are you in it just to get wealthy? Because then one day you will sell out your vision. But if you stay in it for what God has, you will cherish it so much that money's not going to make you go one way or the other.
Yeah.
And how God does it, I don't know, but he's a good God.
He is a good God. He is. Um, for the last 2 years that I've been doing this, I gain people, I lose people, and I think it's not because of me or it's because of the person. I think it is just God showing me who is relevant for the future, who is relevant right now. I know that they will come back. A lot of people go and come back because I always leave the door open to anybody who felt like this is a good platform to help a lot of people and not thinking about this is a good company that will pay them, put
Right.
money in their pocket in the long run, because we are not money driven company. We are actually an outreach driven company. So it's, if you have a lot of people came to me before and said, hey, I am very very popular and famous, this blah blah blah. I said, then I don't need me. You don't need this platform. If you have that, go
Right.
someplace else where you can stay on your status. And I also have some people came here like, I have a lot of money, blah. I said, so why are you seeking my help? I think you don't need my help anymore because you have that money. Spend it for something that you can, you know you
Go
can
to their own next level. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I like people who come to me very humble and say, Maria, I wanna do exactly what you're doing. I want your vision and I wanna help others. If the person comes to me that way, I'm like, well, come on, ride on, let's do this. But if you come to me like trying to bribe me with fame and money. No, I am. I always tell Joe this. I said, Joe, I don't need extra as long as I can pay my rent, put gas on my car, pay my bills, put food in my table. That is enough. That is living for me.
Mhm.
I don't need the extra money because the extra money, I had so much extra money before that I lost some place.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people can relate to that, to my story, that when you have extra money, you forget things. You forget your focus. You forget God. You forget people who loves you and people who truly care for you. You know, sometimes you give the money to them, but that's not really caring. You didn't personally touch those people
Yeah.
because yeah.
And I
So
agree. People, we all go up and down. If you've ever been blessed with a lot of money, then you know the difference. And when it goes, it can destroy you. But if you're focused with God the whole time, it doesn't matter what your bank account says.
yes,
All
yeah,
you're looking at is today. You know, my favorite verse, Maria, is seek the Lord first, and all things will
yes,
be added. And you know, if you wake up every day and say, God, what do you have me today? Download your thoughts, download your plans. I'll just obey it. If it leads to $1 million, great. If it leads to $5, great. Either way, it's okay because you're not focused on what you want. You're focused on what the Lord wants out of your life. And the one thing that I love that shows that concept in your life also is that when people come on to social media shows network, and they show that like-mindedness, that like vision, you have no problem opening up positions and opening up the door to the company and say, hey, you want to be on part of the inner circle to make this faction work, you know, and you're not, you're one of us. You know, yes, you're the founder, you're the brain, you're the one, that the visionary. Joseph is the co-founder with you, but both of you are just, you treat everyone like we're all on the same page. And for someone like me who, in my earlier careers, I was always based on other people's destiny, helping them get what God had in their lives. So for someone to say, hey, Melanie, let's work on your destiny. What does God want you to do with your time, was refreshing. And I think anyone who has a vision of getting their voice heard, getting their product out, or even has a vision to sponsor people. I want to talk about sponsorships next. You are the people to go to because you're going to give it to them plain and simple. You're going to support them, encourage them. I know there are days that I'm just like, I can't do a show today. And you're just like, hey, it's okay. Tomorrow, get up and do it. You don't let me lag too much. And I love that gentle encouragement. But you do accept sponsorships for shows, for those who need a sponsor to put the airtime on, to get their product going. So how can people sponsor
um,
us, you know?
yeah, Oban. Yes, they can. Is our everything that I am doing, like I was mentioning earlier, is we don't need an extra. The only reason that we would like a sponsor is we want all these shows keep on running, and the bigger our network gets, the bigger the expense, because we're gonna need more room in our studio. We're gonna be needing all these shows to be aired on the right time and make sure that we get the right equipments for each and every show. Right now we are, mostly that we have in our studio are all donated. Can you imagine that? Mostly the things that I start spending money now for different things, but when we started, everything is just donating chairs, tables, camera, head a microphone. So but now that we are growing tremendously, we are seeking for a lot of sponsors now, especially with our brand new shows we are doing remotely. Like for instance, the reality TV, we need some, I won't be able to hold the camera at that time already. We have like 4 cameras, so we need 4 camera people that we gonna pay them to hold those camera.
Mhm.
And then also like Mimi and Bree, I know that they can do it on their own, but then we want something a little bit more focus on them instead of them focusing on how to hold the camera. And then like for instance, the two hot chicks, we have it on a restaurant, which is the restaurant owner is our big sponsor, Chanclas Cantina. And then also we use a lot of streaming softwares, like where we are streaming right now. We need we need help of having all our emails, because we have multiple emails now. It costs, the bigger it gets, it costs a little bit, not too much, but it costs a little bit. So yes, so our sponsorship packages are very, very affordable, and I'm telling you, it's nothing as the probably smallest company that you can think of. We have a really, really very affordable sponsorship. And the good thing about our sponsorship goes with, we're gonna create you a 30-second video ad that will run on different shows every single week. Remember, we have 24 shows,
Oh,
over 20, yeah. Well, we're gonna have 30 by the end of this of February. So imagine all those shows that shows your brand, with different peoples. We have over 20 people on our company. Imagine if they talk about your brand to their friends. That is an extra for you guys. They will, we are putting a brand awareness to your brand or your business or your product. And then we're gonna have your link on our website. See, your link, we don't keep your website like other marketing companies, like, oh, they gotta have to contact me, my website, not the person that I am promoting. No, with us, we don't. We just want people goes to our website and they see your brand or your product or your business, and they're like, oh, let me check this. So they click on your link, it goes straight to your link, whichever your
that's really
social
good.
media or your website. And then we have like over 50 different social media page. So all your flyer or your logo is going to be on all those social media. So
Oh,
it's brand awareness. It's a lot of things that you don't have to worry about.
that is really excellent. I am um, getting this all up. I want to put this on the screen. Um, you can go, well, let me talk, just put it on the screen and just reiterate. Here's your sponsor package. You get a 30-second commercial on 20 plus shows. You link to the website. Your logo is on the web pages and everybody's sites. And what are the things that you're looking for is locations. If you have a location we can shoot at, that would be amazing. Equipment for production to increase being able to do more shows at the same time. Staff salaries. It's the bigger we grow, the more staff you're going to need. And if you like a specific show, you can sponsor that show. How do you know how to do that? I'll tell you what, contact Maria. Go to socialmediashows.com and you can find the link where it says sponsorships, information, everything is on that website. Um, and it's very exciting because you will be part of changing lives. Like I said, most of the shows, well, all of the shows impact people in a different way, and allows for the outreach programs to be put out there as well and help the community. And it doesn't take much, does it, Maria? You know, anyone can sponsor. You don't have to have a company.
Yeah.
You can be someone who likes a show, sponsor the show.
Yeah, and the good thing is, if you want all those benefits of sponsoring us, just go on the minimum, just go on the monthly fee. But if you just wanna, as as a follower, or you can just actually just donate, because on our outreach link there is a donation button in there, and then as long as you put your donation, tell us which nonprofit organization you want that money to go to, we give that money to that nonprofit organization. So we don't keep your money at all. It goes to straight to the nonprofit organization. You're gonna get that form of donation form.
Right. The
Yeah.
receipts, yes.
Yes, so we do all those things. We are not keeping any of that money because that's all to help other people. But if you want to sponsor a show, that is what we actually pay for the help that we needed here on social media shows.
I think that's beautiful. And I love that 100% of the donations goes to the nonprofit that they are wanting it to go. You don't take anything off the top. And again, that's different. You're doing it a different way. It's so beautiful. I want to highlight just a couple. Of course, I can't highlight every show that you do, but here's just a common, a little bit of what happens. Monday, 11 and 1, you have two shows: Office with Joseph Skoda, Vegas Live with
Nian?
Ninan. Tuesday, you have my show, Truth Talk. 3 p.m. You have Let's Talk World with you, and then Good News with Dolores Olson, who I have talked about Good News with Dolores Olson on my show a lot, because I just love the way she brings the Word of God. Just it's so simple, and no pretense. She just teaches it, she says it, and you can take it and apply it. And I love that. But talk about Let's Talk World.
Yeah, well, Let's Talk World is just part of me. You interviewing me right now is I am so anxious. I have this anxiety because I am so used to of asking the question to somebody. I've been doing it since day one on social media shows. So when somebody invite me, I'm like, ah, okay, breathe. So, anyways, Let's Talk World is just me. My English is my second language, right? I would love to do exactly what Joe was doing, but um, I cannot read a script. By the way, I can read, but if I read, I'm reading a script, it's just totally go sideways. So I cannot do that. But and I cannot, you cannot memorize a whole 30 minutes,
Yeah.
script. You cannot memorize that. So I decided to do some interviews. At least I allow a person to actually promote themselves, talk
Mhm.
anything they want about themselves, and me as a host just ask one question from the beginning, which is, tell us more about yourself. And then anybody you ask that question, they can go hours and hours. So I love that show. Yeah, I love that show because for me is everything that I hear from a person, it actually helps me with my knowledge. I can apply it to myself, or I can use it in the future. And anybody who come onto my show and tell them their story to me and to the camera, for me is, knowledge is power. That is actually very powerful if you only know how to listen to everybody who's telling their story. It doesn't matter if it's boring, it doesn't matter if it doesn't relate to you. Those everything that people says actually is very, very powerful. That person is telling you something for one reason. They trust you, and they are transferring their power to you. Accept it. Every power is relevant.
I
And
love that.
yeah, I love that. If you just listen. That is one thing that everybody cannot, I don't know why everybody doesn't know how to listen, because listening is very, very powerful. So I commend everybody out there to start knowing how to listen, because don't open your mouth, just listen. It's also a way of, it will help you how to start reading people. But anyways, Let's Talk World, yes, that's the Let's Talk World all about, is learning very, so far, very good stories, and probably over 150 guests on Let's Talk World. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, so it's, if you go back, I can put them all together with those words of wisdom that every single person had said on the show. And it's, if you listen to those, you're like, you're ready to take over the world. That's what I think. That's why it's Let's Talk World.
And I think like that explanation shows your heart and why you're doing what you're doing, because you do believe that every person, no matter where you come from, what you're doing has a story, has nuggets of wisdom, understanding, knowledge, the things that God allows everyone to walk through. It helps the next person. And so I love Truth Talk World because it gives average people, anybody, you who are listening today, if you want to just tell your story, you've been wanting to get on Oprah Winfrey, but you can't get through. I'll tell you what, you can get to Maria and you can get on Truth Talk World. Just, like I said, go to the website and say, hey, can I be a guest? Here's my story. And she'll take from there. But we all have something to share. We all have something valuable within us. And to be able to tell it in a safe environment is one of the most precious things we can ever have. And you're right, if we take time to listen, not judge people by their hair or what they're wearing or their voice is too loud or too soft or whatever. We don't listen, we judge, and we're thinking while people are talking.
Mm-hmm.
If we take the time to actually listen,
Listen.
that would be wonderful.
Yeah. And that's what we are all missing. That's why everybody is just to each other nowadays, is because I notice it to a lot of people that they don't listen. They just listening to their mind, even though you're talking, they're
Yeah.
listening. So when you see, this is what I notice is when you are talking, this is like you're talking to a person, but you're not expecting them to listen and comprehend of what you're saying, right? But
No,
then when they their next respond will tell you if they're listening or not.
that is very true. That is true. Because sometimes you'll ask a question, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." They weren't listening. Or even, I find I ask a question and their answer doesn't relate to the
Right.
question I asked. So they were already wanting to bring that topic in, and you're like, okay, as a host, do I allow them to derail it or do I stay focused on what I'm wanting? And it's a balance to try to figure all of that out. But you do it so well.
I love
Um,
no, I love your interviews. I listen to a lot of your interviews, and I just totally love how you put people back in the current situation, because and I, we both know that when you're talking to people, they're trying to navigate what they're thinking out of the topic, and then you bring them back, and
oh,
that's a good host. That's a
Well,
very
I
good.
remember one of the first interviews I did was in your studio. You interviewed me, and oh my goodness, Maria, I was nervous. I was like, I don't know what to do. What am I going to say? And I'm the person who doesn't like to talk about myself. So when you're like, tell me about yourself, I'm like, I have nothing to say. So it's so weird to be able to um, know how to do that. But I interviewed an author, David William Buckland, in the studio. And I remember afterwards, you're like, oh my goodness, I loved watching that. And that just encouraged me. I'm like, oh, okay. And that's how my second show started, which is this show, Truth Talk, a Conversation, because you encouraged me that I could interview one on one and it would be a good thing to watch. And so I don't think this specific show would have been on. But you've allowed me to branch off, Maria. I had one show, which is Truth Talk Panel, that I talk about current events and stuff like that with my guest co-host, Bill and Brandy. And then you moved me and allowed me to go into 5 shows, one every day at 2 p.m. without a hesitation. And I loved having that freedom to say, hey, I got this vision. You're like, go for it. Go for it. And I'm like, okay, I'll just go for it.
Because I trusted your gut from the day we start talking. I just totally I I seen so much of me with to you. Uh, just I just seen this vision, like, oh my God, we can, yeah, it's just, I just trusted you, and I know that you have everything in you, like how much I have in me. That's why I'm like, go ahead, Melanie, you can do this. And it is just not, no, I literally love your first interview with what is it?
David,
Huh?
David.
David, yeah, with David. And I am just like, This is the girl that can host a really good show. So yeah.
Well, I love it. I love doing this. It's my niche. It's something I didn't know I had in me until Joseph actually came to me and said, "Melanie, you need to do a show." I'm like, "Joseph, I don't do a show. I teach Bible studies." Like, "No, you need to do a show." And he chased me for probably 2 years on doing a show until I actually said, "Okay, yeah, I'm doing it." And he's like, "I got to tell you about Maria." And it clicked. And I think for those who have something that God is putting them to, you are such a divine connection, such an anointed person of people. You know people, you care about people. And so I just am so glad to highlight not just social media shows network, but highlight you as a
Thank
person.
you. I
um,
appreciate that.
so I thank you for coming on today. I just want to put up one more time how people can find you. I don't. Yeah,
Yes. You can go to, so everything that I do is social media shows. So
yes.
if you look me up on social media shows, everything in there is, even though it's not about me, but it's, you are seeing Maria Pureza every time you see social media shows. Um, I felt like social media shows had changed the total person of me. Like it totally changed because I am the very naive, very shy. Although I'm still smart at that time, but um, I am like I'm hiding in a box before I start social media shows, and that's why I social media shows is my life. I we be Social media shows is my husband actually. That's what I call it. Um, and you know, and everything that I do is social media shows.
Mhm.
If you're saying I just want Maria, I don't want social media shows, that
Yeah.
is not yeah, that's not gonna work because this has been already my life since day one, and I am ready to move forward with it and still be in this together. And I thank all people who actually supported me from the beginning, and for those people who want to support for us here at social media shows to continue this journey and helping a lot of people. And like we were talking earlier, we this is for our viewers, for the people, and not for us. We are putting you guys both. So yeah, so go on socialmediashows.com. You can also direct emailing me at maria@socialmediashows.com, or for like inquiries, go to admin@socialmediashows.com, or send it to admin@socialmediashows.com. You can also go to any social media. The good thing is you can go and type in on Google search right now and type social media shows, and you will see all the channels that we have where you can find us, because we are all over the internet. I don't know if it's the same thing with your search box, but on my search box on the third search. If you put social media shows, it's third, but if you go on my search box, it's number one. But
Oh,
of
that's
course,
good.
yeah, because that's all I research, right? But if it goes on different, like people not familiar with social media shows, it goes third. So that is really big for me.
Well, that is huge. That is something to say. So again, email Maria directly at maria@socialmediashows.com. Or if you have questions about how it runs, administrative things, how to get involved, do admin@socialmediashows.com, and someone will get back with you in a timely manner. Can't promise how, because they might be live when you email them. So thank you, Maria, so much for your time. I know you're a busy woman, being productive, but I do appreciate it. And for all you listening today, thank you for joining us. Don't forget, your daily dose continues this week. With tomorrow, it's a dive deeper, the Church of Sardis out of the book of Revelation. We are going deep. Decide and see yourself in what church out of the seven, and what does Jesus say to you on how to get yourself lined up with the Word of God once again. And then Friday, there'll be a personal message from me to you. And then we'll join it all over again with your daily dose. So thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Have a good day, Maria.
You too.